absurd. So
I craft Kwama Queen, so I don't feel so bad about my card reveal. Alright, let's move on to agility.
Okay.
First is Deepwood Trapper. I think it's a decent.
It's some play. But yeah. I think in the only good deck, like the actual competitive deck that is in play, is the Abomination one.
Yep.
And the reason it sees place is because it's a one cost, not because of the effect, mostly, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has seen some play.
Not bad. Stalls the turn.
Yeah, it's seen some play. And, like,
it fits the deck really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to play as a racing tool in like really low to the ground decks. Like if you're not afraid of outgassing. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but
I think Mudcrab Merchant pushes that ability out of.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mudcrab Merchant's just better. So maybe it's just a 2, because of Abomination.
Yeah, I think it's a 2. I don't think it's a great card right now.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Barter. The only synergy is Barter Unite the Houses. And it was actually quite effective.
So it's a 1.5.
No, it's a 1. It's still a 1.
It's a 1? Okay, good.
Any Barter stories? I've gotten this off College of Winterhold and still in a TASCAD.
You stole Journey off me that one time?
I stole Journey off? Oh, I stole Drain. I stole Drain Vitality off you, but it was level 1. Even though you upgraded to level 3.
Yeah, no, it was level 3 for me though, so I couldn't level 3 drain you. It was
I wanted to level 3 drain you.
I know, but I still, I think I beat you down that game. That's true.
No,
I've won a tournament game because of Barter.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I was on support mage, and I had College of Winterhold. And my 2-slot options were really sad, so I had to pick Barter. And I stole a lightning bolt from my opponent, so he was short on damage. So I
what did you give him? Removal?
I don't remember. It was something useless. It was something. Yeah, it's probably another card I got from the College of Winterhold that was specifically useless, so I can give it to him. I don't remember which one exactly.
Like Elixir of Vitality or something.
No, I needed Elixir of Vitality to actually heal out of range after I stole his lightning bolt. But yeah, if he had this lightning bolt, I would have lost. He had enough damage the next turn.
So this only exists because of College of Winter. But don't craft it, just craft College of Winter. Alright. Cog Collector. 1.
Moving on.
That's a terrible card.
What on earth is this card supposed to do? Yeah.
Like, why would you ever play this when you have Daring Cutpurse? Like, Daring Cutpurse is already not that amazing, but it's so much better than Cog Collector.
Yep. Oh, chat brought up a good point. You play Barter and Lich's Ascension, then you can wreck the opponent. Alright.
You're still card disadvantage.
Oh. No, but you gave him a useless card.
Yeah, but you used Barter. That was a card.
No, but he has a useless card, so...
Yeah, you spent 2 cards. Okay, so if you consider that Ascension wasn't a card, you spent a card, and they I guess they just lost a card. So maybe
it's 1 for 1. In that scenario, it's 1 for 1. It's like when you barter, it's a 1 for 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Cog Collector is probably let's just move on.
Yeah.
Leafwater Blessing.
Should this just be a 3 because of Leafwater OTK, or?
I think Leafwater OTK is weak, so 2 point but so it is
2.5 or something.
Yeah. I think it's like the Winter's Grasp problem.
Yeah, 2.5 then. I think Winter's Grasp was 2.5.
Karakon, you've played with the deck. What do you think?
The deck is probably below 10% win rate against certain archetypes, and it's maybe above 80% win rate against other archetypes. So, like Control Mage, for example, would never win against this unless they Prophecy like something to like a javelin to kill your combo while you're doing it. So yeah, but it has absolutely no way to win against anything proactive. Like you do rely on Drain Vitality, like that is your only defensive option. So if your opponent can survive a Drain Vitality, they will beat you. So if it's something with charge, like Aggro Hlao or Mid-Range Warrior, or yeah, like anything that can push some kind of damage from hand or establish a board once they've been wiped, they will win. It's just not the deck I would play on ladder.
Yeah, but it's a tournament deck for sure.
Yeah, if you want to target slow control strategies, you can do that really effectively.
Alright. Mournhold Traitor. I think this is solid 4.
Yeah, I can see this before.
Yeah. If you play aggressive green, you start with Murkwater Traitor, right?
Yeah, I think basically always. I mean, the one thing is, like, generally this is a card you do really want to have ways to protect, but you don't even have to, I guess.
Alright, let's move on.
Like 4/4 is just such good on 2.
Especially
like,
on coin. Like,
yeah.
turn 1 this, turn 2 this, your opponent really cries.
Oh god, yeah.
Sometimes multiples can be bad, though, because you can get outgassed. It's almost like having multiple scimitars out of warrior.
Yeah. And it does die to Fighter's Guild sometimes, which is very annoying.
Yeah, and again, that's why it's really risky. But it's also why, like, if you're playing, it's like really good with Wardcrafter or that kind of thing, or if you have Shadow Shifts, like having anything that can protect it's really good. So it's like really maximized in decks that can do that, which is why I don't think it's even powerful across green decks. I think it's really strong in decks at Nagar decks that have ways to protect their threats, and it's just kind of like, it's risky but high reward in ones that don't have ways to protect it.
I've always wondered if you could play this in green control. Like, why don't you run this in Rage Archer? Because you have Skaven to clean up the mess.
The problem is with Rage Archer that sometimes you run out of cards. So it's not bad. Like the effect can sometimes be even an upside that you leave a 2/1 on your opponent, but if you have Traitor, it's even easier to run out of cards, right?
But there's like a fighting too, like a Wardcrafter, but Wardcraft is just...
I think there is potential. I think it just goes into a bit more aggressive Rage Archer, so something that plays Blood Dragons and Shout of Hersin, so yeah, and doesn't rely as much on Baronesses. So a bit more
control.
That could even be a list that runs like 2 rages or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Orithian Swindler.
It's a
I've
one.
seen this once in a heavy item sorcerer meta, and even then it wasn't good.
Yeah, like it's a kind of targets item deck so heavily, and
it's not even good at doing that.
The thing about this card is when it kills the item, it doesn't trigger the effect.
Yeah.
So it's not even the tempo swing, like you just steal the item, so that's effectively a silence, right? On a massive body that ends up after you've stolen all the items, but you don't trigger the shackle from the maces, you don't trigger the ward from battle mace, and things like this. So yeah, that's quite relevant. So it doesn't do actually that good job at countering item decks, even though it's such a small part of the meta.
And then already counter Merrick.
Yeah,
you would have already died off if Merrick went off.
So, yeah, so I think this card is absolutely horrible.
Yep.
1. Okay, Cornerclub Gambler. So I think EndoZoa has a lot to say about this card.
Sure. I mean, I put it as a 3.5. I think it could easily. This is a card I've gone up and down. I mean, obviously, this is a card that I hate the design of. I think it's atrocious design, but I think
Why
it's
is
also
it bad design?
It's really bad design because it's too important. I think. Like I think so you can build decks around it, obviously. So again, like my assassin list, you make daggers, you get curses off skulks, you get animals off Elder Gleam. You have all these like or like you can even, if you want to, you can even run like a Mudcrab Merchant or two or something. So you have all these cards you can discard that are like kind of worth less than a card, which alleviate the downside. But basically, I think that a lot of times it's like if your opponent can kill it, your chances of winning are are pretty low, and if they don't, you just like win the game immediately.
So it's too bipolar in like too early stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think for a while I was worried it was going to be too. I think I was worried it was going to be too important in the meta. Now I think it's more of a niche card, so I'm not as concerned. But for a while there, I was concerned that this was the kind of thing that was going to like force people to put crushing blows in their decks or something.
Yeah, I have Reverbing Strikes for this card and Ash Berserker.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think a 3-mana 4/3, which is just a blood-statted creature, should have an effect that's so powerful that it warps the way people have to construct their decks that much.
Well, I think the downside is very, very relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Very often you have to gamble your whole game plan. You have to take a gamble. And if your opponent has a way to interact with the card, you're really sad.
Yeah, and that's
you lost your gamble. Yeah, I think the main problem is when it comes on a ring, it's really hard.
Yeah, the ring problem is huge.
Yeah, when this is on turn 2, you because you can't lightning bolt it as the opponent. You can't you can only play a crushing blow or a
negation, but negation's not really an answer.
Yeah, because spinner doesn't answer at that point. So.
Yeah, so there is only reverberating strike and crushing blow, and I guess negation.
Yep.
I mean, you have to negation. If you have a 0-drop and a sharpshooter, I guess that works as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this card is super key, and it's part of the reason why I personally have had a lot of ladder success with Tempo Assassin, and it's seen a little bit of tournament play too, but not a lot. But again, I mean, the people like me, Ben, Matty Borch, the people who've been working with a deck. This is like the reason that the deck is worth exploring, I think, and so I think it's at least a 3.5 for that reason.
I think I would agree on 3.5. It's very powerful effect.
Yeah. I think it's a really good card.
Yeah.
It's worth the 3.5.
Yep.
Okay. Next card is
Kinsman.
How's Kinsman? Oh, I wish this was a 3-mana 3/3.
It's a 3/2, right? So I know Goblin King is in a more like all-in aggressive assassin list that's running Blood Sacrament and that kind of thing. So it's basically like a burn deck. I don't personally like that variant that much. I tested it some, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad card. Like if it's guaranteed to push at least 3 damage, so it's not that easy to control, right? Like you're not gonna be sad that you top deck this when you need to push damage, because it always will push damage unless your opponent has negation, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a decent card. Like if you're and especially in some of the decks, you have some flexible slots, like mid-range assassin, for example, has some flexible slots, and Kinsman can go into it.
Yeah.
A lot of people choose to play it. I think it's a decent card. It's a more of a fewer card. It's not a card that you'd base your strategy around.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be too unhappy to play it. So yeah, I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I think it's more of a 2.5 because again I think it's in, I would say it's in one archetype and it's not even in.
Yeah, I think 2.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's also like you can also race with this card in aggressive strategies. Like that's what old Archer used to do. Like this was the card that procced Soul Rest Marshal, and that's why it got nerfed. But now, like with all the new buffs and all the new cards, I can see it going back to a 3-mana 3/3. And it'll make green mid-range a lot more powerful, which I think green mid-range does need.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Next
So,
card, Shadowmaster. That's your card, EndoZoa.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I don't advocate for using like a card, but I mean, for me, I again, in my assassin list, it's basically like the 4th Gloomlurker. But it has uses beyond that, and for sure too, I think again in the future, if there's combo decks that go like that rely on creatures, this is a way to like enable you to protect up for the next turn. Like as if we learned anything from Magic, Hexproof is a really stupid mechanic. So dodging all removal is a real thing. But yeah, the biggest thing with this is really just again playing that strategy of preventing interaction, and it goes into some tempo lists again. It's like a 1 or 2 of. Because of that, just being able to prevent your opponent from interacting, not actually dealing with their board, but just gaining tempo and making it take making it take longer before they can actually deal with your stuff. So I gave it a 2.5, but because I mean I play it in a deck that I consider to be strong, but it can be people can disagree.
I can say 2.5.
Yeah, it's not a bad stat line. The effect is a bit, it's okay, but it's not amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit too situational for my taste. But yeah, I mean you can play it, but you're never gonna win because of this card.
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah, like you need some kind of enabler for this card, and it's not that easy to find. So yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not a strong card by any stretch, but it is a playable card. It goes into certain decks. So.
Yeah, I think it's playable.
Yeah, it's playable for sure.
Yeah.
Ghostrider. I've lost to this card.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Ghostrider?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's pretty bad, but it's some kind of like it's kind of like a crushing blow.
You have crushing blow. Why would you need a 4-mana crushing blow?
Because it can go twice.
It can't hit shadow.
Yeah, it can't hit shadow lane, and it will.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay, I think
terrible.
I gave it 1.5. I have had this card be good off Elderly Mage, but that doesn't mean it should go in your deck.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, and it gets countered by Jube, so it's like, just no.
Yeah, I think it can even go to 1 because the Jube really...
Yeah, of course.
Like if your opponent plays Jube, and you can no longer go to the lane, right? Because it has guard as well.
Good call.
Yeah, Ghostrider cannot attack through this, like it can't damage Jube. What the hell are you gonna do?
Yeah, just because of that, I think that by itself is going to render this unplayable.
Right. So we need to put on the document, Jube makes this a 1.
Okay.
Hidden Trail. I don't think it's super bad of a card.
Yeah. Yeah, Puddleglum was playing this as a 1-of it's like a super ridiculous over-the-top greed version of Scout to try to win the mirror. Because you put your Necros to 4 power.
Isn't it bad because you don't have interaction? Like, because it's really hard to get out of Shadow Lane.
Yeah, no, that build he was doing is literally only. But yeah, I mean, I think this maybe could see again play as a 1-of or really aggressive like Archer deck if we see a resurgence in mid green. But again, like you were saying, Warriors, I think mid green needs some help for this to be a card that might see some play. But and yeah, honestly, like I've tried building. I mean, I've built some air quotes mono green burn decks, and I don't even run this in those. So
How bad? Like, can't this be 3 mana?
Yeah, I think it would be okay for Magica.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too powerful.
Yeah, it would probably go up to 3 in our rating.
But now it's just 2, right?
Yeah, I think it's a 2.
Okay, Moonlight Werebat. Oh gosh, when this was a 4/3, so annoying. But now it's just 2.
I still play it in Rage Archer, but I think that's the only place it goes.
I think the only reason people play it in Rage Archer is because they just don't have anything better to play. Like, a lot of the Rage Archers would immediately replace this card if they had better options, but as far as healing goes, just not that much, and yeah.
Yeah, this is more a sentiment of there just not being a lot of 4s you want to play.
Yeah, exactly, so...
Yeah. Yeah, you could like...
Trying to Firebolt and Cradle Crush is too big of a downside.
Yeah, I mean, it can be really big. There are... You win by prophesying this, you couldn't win any other way. But
playing this out naturally loses you more games than it wins you off prophecy.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you're playing a prophecy, you don't want to rely too much on the prophecy attack.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, you will draw it naturally, right?
Yeah, so I think 2 is fair for this.
Alright. Murkwater Shaman. 3? I think it's in Goblins, it's a mid-archer, but those 2 decks aren't very good. But like, it's played in a variety of decks.
The reason that I think this is free is because it is the best 4-drop from green.
Yeah.
There is no better 4-drop in green. Like green is the like green is the saddest covers as far as 4-drops are concerned because it has so few options. And Murkwater Shaman is one of the ones that are you're not that unhappy to play in your deck.
Yeah. What's in Archer? Like, what are the 4-drops in red?
Spinner. Ogre, Shaman. Reeve, Garneg.
Yeah, that's it. Like they're all situational.
So maybe you have to play some number of this in mid-archer or something. I don't know.
That's the only reason I think this is a free. I think if this card was in yellow, it would be a lot worse.
No, it'd be a 1 if it was in yellow, I think. I mean that seriously.
But it has Goblin tag, and Goblins can high roll.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but does this even see play in Goblin? Like, if you're playing an all-in aggressive deck, you don't want this. So I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think.
So I don't think the Goblin tag even matters. I don't think the Goblin tag even matters because you don't play this in Goblins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you can win games because you have this, and your opponent didn't have the answer for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've played this in more like controlling monk lists and stuff before, but I think I've always ended up eventually. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, next card is Murkwater Skirmisher. This card is if this ever becomes meta, I think right now.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. Like, you play Goblins, you draw Skirmisher, you win. You don't draw Skirmisher, you lose.
Yeah, I had someone draw 3 Skirmishers against me yesterday. It was not great. But yeah, I mean, again, this is Doomcrag, that situation. I gave us a 3 because it's the Goblin deck. There it is.
Yeah. Like,
and that's
the king of the Goblins.
Yeah, that's the reward for playing that deck.
Yeah.
So 3, agree, Karakon?
Yeah, I agree with 3. Like, this card is absolutely insane in Goblins. The only reason Goblins is not as good is because it relies so much on the Skirmisher. If they could guarantee having Skirmisher on curve, their win rate would be through the roof, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think this is like it just enables an archetype. So I'll give it a 3.
Cool.
Okay, next card is Horrible Crook.
Right. So Turbo Crook, it's a card that only time I've seen it meta is in Leafwater Blessing, and even then it's more to protect your fences from Death Priest and not be absolutely useless against decks that don't play Death Priest, rather than because it's actually good. It's just so situational.
Oh, wait. Okay, I skipped 10 more Swift Claw. 1, moving on.
Yeah, Thermal Swift Claw, it's a preferred card and not even preferred deck played. It's that bad. Yeah, and Turbo Crook, yeah, at least it has some uses, but it's very, very marginal.
Yeah, I think like any of these effects that produce Magicka fast are worth considering for combo decks in the future, but yeah, it's probably a 1.5 or 2.
I mean, there's the new card that's gonna make this completely, like, pretty useless, right?
Well, outside of, yeah, I mean, in Scout, this is useless, but maybe if there's a combo deck in a different class, I don't know. It's probably 1.5.
Blighted Werebat.
I don't think this is the card.
2/1.
What's its stat line? Is it
5/4? 5 and a 4/4.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. The effect is like most of the time you don't even want the effect because it breaks a rune. Even though it heals you for 2, usually a card is worth more than that.
Yeah, it's true. The effect can be actively bad for you.
Yeah, so I don't like this card at all. I don't think it will ever see play in serious list.
Yeah. I gave it 1.5 because who knows, but yeah.
Honestly, I just think it has the beast tag, so like it's like for the Chaos Arena, Elder Gleam stuff.
Oh yeah, that's.
Well, Cameron Scout Leader. 5 and a 6/6, easy 5.
Wait,
with
no,
4/4 charge.
Which one was that?
I gave it a 1.
5 mana Cameron Scout, like 5 mana 2/2, summon a 2/2 Wood Elf Scout with charge and each lane with a wounded enemy creature.
Oh god, this card.
It's not a card.
Yeah, I forgot this was a card.
Yeah, it does not exist.
Rude.
Yeah.
Okay. Cliff Racer, but not really. So, well, just don't. Dust and don't craft. Okay. Alright. Elder Centaur. Cool voice line and I think pretty cool effect. Just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, the stat line is too weak for yeah.
I don't know. I gave it 1.5 because I feel like maybe
the effect is unique and it's cool. Also, just for the flavor, 1.5.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
it's not as bad as the last one.
Hey, WikiLeaks said Cam learned Scout Leader with Manner and Fervor. That's insane charge.
Oh wow.
That makes it
not Manner, just
no. Finally, Clavo not that good. If, WikiLeaks, if you can convince my like the people on ladder to play Clavo with Cameron, I'll be
please do it.
Really grateful.
Really appreciate it.
Okay, Fleeting Apparition. I think it's a very powerful card. It just doesn't find a home yet.
Yeah,
I think it has the potential to give you a lot of value, like way more value than a 5-cost card should give you.
I think the big thing here is this is really hard to control because, like, no matter what, you're gonna be playing a significant amount of 2-drops, I think. And this is the kind of effect that gets more powerful the less of the fetchable targets you have, because there's less randomness involved. But I think as is, like, it just like by nature has to be 2 random, and 3 drops too. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I think that's. It just had the potential that it sometimes it high rolls a lot, and it gives you the. I forgot the name of the card, but the free cost 2/2 that when you sack it, you get 2 draws. So you get that from the first card, and then you sack it, you draw 2 cards, and then you get something like a harpy.
Yeah.
And
But that's magical Christmas land. Like
exactly. And sometimes it gives you a Daggerfall, and then another Daggerfall, and you roll nothing. Like, it's just so slow.
And sometimes you get a Sanctuary Pet, and it's in the wrong lane, and you can't. Trying to kill you, like, yeah.
It's too greedy, I think, and it's not the right type of greed.
Yeah, it's always surprised me the amount of like players that I respect that have like really been trying to make this work. I don't know. I'm not a big fan personally.
I think if you can, like, too random, like you somehow control this.
You can go either way. Like you have no idea the order of the cards is already random enough, and then what cards it will be. It's also very relevant. So there is so much different situations that could happen when you play this card that it's impossible to consider all of them. And
the 2.5.
I still did give it a 2.5 just because of how many strong players I know have been. This card is going to have a home.
It nets you a lot of value. So for a 5 cost card, I think that's quite good. So 2.5, I think it's okay.
Okay. Giant Snake. This is like a meta choice. I think it's very powerful. Like, I've seen people try Uprising with this, so I would say don't disenchant this card. Like 3.
I play 1 copy of Giant Snake, and it has won me so many games with Uprising. Against Clau, for example, they have no way to deal with Giant Snake.
Yeah. And of course, as with Winter's Grasp, this is really important for Shackle Assassin. But again, obviously, it's less of an important deck.
But yeah, it's a meta choice for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Green Touch Spriggan. There's an OTK deck, but not really. So 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a 1. I don't think you can call it even an OTK if it doesn't happen in 1 turn, right?
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't even happen in 1. Okay, next card. Leaflurker. This is one of the most powerful ones. 4? 4.5?
I think it's hard between those two. I think I probably lean towards 4, but I could see an argument for 4.5.
Yeah, I think Leaflurker is just really, really good. The problem is that
I think there are new strategies.
I don't know, like there's.
You don't need Leaflurker
the new
anymore.
strategies, like all the green, because there is green on ladder. Like there is Shout Scout, there is Hlau. Like those are the 2 most popular decks, and they both use green. But none of them play with Leaflurker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just fell out of favor. Like Leaflurker used to belong in tempo and in control, and now it doesn't belong in like either.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Vicky and Chad. I think it's a 4 in this meta.
Or even it's 3.5. I think it's solid enough to be a 4.
Yeah, I think it's so strong in the decks that it goes in that it's probably a 4. But yeah, because I mean, obviously anything running the Skulk Curse package, this is amazing, and then you still run it in like Rage Archer.
Yeah, there's Make Dagoth as well.
Yeah, you're right, in Dagoth. Yeah.
All right, I think this is solid 4.
Yeah.
Marauder Renegade. 2.5.
It just goes into. Okay, so this could go into either the type of aggressive rage deck that I previously talked about. So instead of having Blood Dragon, you could play this card. And yeah, because it is something to play on 5, so you can actually push damage. And it's not the worst stat line. The effect is not the best because it requires you to slay something. So your opponent can prevent it. but it's an okay card, right? It's not the worst.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5. I think like it doesn't
Solid
see
ball
play in
game.
many places, but I think it's a high enough power on a vacuum. It probably deserves that score.
And it's a 5 mana, not 6 mana, so it's still playable. Snowy Sabre Cat. I think it's a 3.
Why?
Because I need tier. I need to run this card.
Have you not met Warriors card?
Yeah. I've never gotten Karakon with a combo, but yeah.
But it's... Oh, is it only because of the combo?
No, I only ran this to get rank 1 in April.
Yeah, but if we base our card ratings
fine.
on
I think it's a 2 point. I think it's a 2
We have
point.
to remake the whole list.
Alright,
Yeah.
2.5, 2.5.
I think it's a
I just like
2.5.
this card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like you can attack twice, and that's quite good. But it just, I don't know, like it's not that amazing either, right?
Fine, yes, okay, 2.5.
Like it's not worth the risk of playing this card and do nothing on turn 5, right? For example, Bannerman, it has the same risk, but the payout is a lot better.
It's not the same risk though, because Bannerman dies to Bolt.
Yeah, but most of the times you play Bannerman, you're not that punished by the boat. You're usually punished a lot more than Shackle.
Yeah.
Like the boat is at least it's an equal trait, kind of.
Yeah. So Aini said it's amazing with Monk Strike and Crusader's Assault.
Yeah, with Monk Strike, I can see it working out.
And Crusader Assault, Scimitar, but
Yeah. I do think that's one deck though, and it is a strong deck, but I think it's one deck. So
yeah, and Ring of Imagining Might is a very niche and themed deck.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a real deck.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
I
Hall.
Okay, good players will not play this deck, so let's move on.
Ouch. I need to get Karakon someday with this deck.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, obviously it's not that bad, but I feel like just I don't know, if we're gonna just to close it out, like if you're considering for a tournament, like you'd always play.
Oh yeah, no way.
You'd always play Leafwater or Abomination before you'd play Cat combo. Right?
But Cat combo's better on ladder because it's actually a half decent mid range deck.
That's true. Yeah.
Alright. Moving on. Smuggler's Hall. 1.5. I think with the new random bad 0 cost, it's just not.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse.
This never goes in Market Archer, does it?
I mean, Market Archer is not really a thing anymore after the Northwind Outpost nerf.
Yeah. I know Ben's played a fair amount of it recently, but I don't know. This probably doesn't even go in Market Archer, honestly.
Yeah. Even when people used to play, they didn't play Smuggler's Hall.
Yeah. And then I guess Unite, so maybe it's 1.5 because Unite thousands.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's
No, I don't like this in Unite even.
Okay, let's call it a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next card. Beast Color.
Beast Caller. Oh, I think this is not bad.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Like, it's one of those rare 6 drops that are not punished by Belligerent. And even if you play it on curve, like most of the time, the stats are worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, what deck are you actually putting this in, though?
Nothing in the meta.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like, I don't. Someone put this as a 3 in the thing, but I don't think this is going in the deck.
I think it's
Like-
2.5.
Yeah, it's probably 2.5.
Not even 2.
I think in certain metas it could be very good.
Like
It's
in one
big
situation,
pile of stats.
just because it's two bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is better. So if you're an aggressive deck, this is better than I forgot the name of the card, like the purple Necromancer. That
Someone's thinking your discard. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is better than this card, right? And the Necromancer sees play, so yeah. So I think this can see some play as well. The problem is that green mid-range is not that common right now.
Yeah, you see more like green aggro and green control. You don't really see the middle ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like Monk Strike Monk doesn't play it.
So it's like a sleeping tool that could potentially see some play.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Shadow Green Elder. So curve Beast Collar into this.
I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're playing an animal deck, but you probably shouldn't be playing an animal deck.
Animal deck, yeah. I mean, if you really want to roleplay animals, yeah, you that's the card you start with. But
who is was it Peter that was playing this a ton or something? Who was it?
Ian Bits.
Ian Bits? Okay.
They were trying Vardvark Uprising with this card.
My god.
So like the OTK from the puzzle?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, you can actually do that. So if you summon lots of mudcraps and uprising with this card and Nick Socks, yeah, you can OTK people.
Alright,
I don't recommend it.
Okay. Matt Slayer.
I gave it a 1.
But,
yeah.
Sorry,
even Matt says he's bad in his deck. That should tell you how bad the deck the card is.
I'm so sorry, Matt, if you're gonna watch this, but yeah, it's a 1. Eclipse Baroness. 3.5?
It's...
I know Karakondzhul gonna want to be a 4, but...
No, I would want it to be less, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like, it doesn't see any play right now. It's just so low.
It's really, really low tempo.
Yeah. Like, what? So, the decks that traditionally used to run Eclipse Baroness are Rage Archer.
Which doesn't run it anymore.
Scout.
Which doesn't run anymore.
Scout doesn't need Baroness anymore. I don't think Baroness will ever come back to Scout unless Necromancer gets a nerf, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't think will happen.
I know PETA plays it as a 1-of in Dagoth.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I can see this being free. I just don't. I think they're just better options.
Yeah, it's probably a 3 now, actually. Yeah. I agree.
Alright. Yeah, there's just better green now. Like there's always the Shrine versus Baroness, and Shrine is just better because you get to run a lot of cheap creatures most of the time. Right. Paris Breeding, keep it. Basically, Atromancer.
Yeah, with removal on top.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you play Chaos Breeding Pit, that's half a level 3 Drain Vitality.
Ooh, we all know how good level 3 Drain Vitality is.
Yeah, so if you play double Chaos Breeding Pit, that's as good as a level 3 Drain Vitality.
Yeah, Mushroom Tower, right? Like you have Sheer Point and Mushroom Tower, and then you curve into this.
If you're playing Scout, you can actually ramp to 20 mana, so you can play 2 in 1 turn. Ooh.
No, you use Mushroom Tower.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can you sack one of the Charis you make to it to make?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, it has really good Mushroom Tower synergy because it's basically doing what
Alright.
Actually,
I gave it a
might try the deck
1.5.
next.
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
Okay. So top 5
So
agility.
1.5. Yeah. Okay, top 5 agility. So okay, so I think I agree with those 5. Probably the order is not correct.
I think
Okay.
Traitor
we have-
is 1.
You think Traitor's 1?
In this meta, Traitor is 1.
Yeah, probably. I think Traitor is 1. Probably. So other than the Traitor, we have Leaflurker, Gambler, Murkwater Shaman, and Murkwater Skirmisher. I think Traitor is 1. I think Gambler would be 2, and Leaflurker would be 3. I'm not sure about the order of the Murkwater Shaman and Skirmisher, but I don't think it matters that much, to be honest.
It's probably Skirmisher first, I would guess, just because Goblins is probably more of a deck than...
Yeah, probably.
So 1 Traitor, 2 Cornerclub, 3 Leaflurker, 4 Skirmisher, and 5 Shaman.